right, welcome into the crossover. It's been a while since we've been back, KD.
Yeah, man, I'm feeling better though.
I was gonna say you were sick for a little bit.
Yeah, I'm feeling a lot better.
I was making some things happen on the back end.
You definitely made it happen.
Life.
Yep, kudos, champ. Good job,
man.
buddy.
Thank you. Good to see you here, bro. Great job. Let's go. That's KD, NBA veteran. I'm your boy Tende Tony. A lot to get to on this episode of the crossover. One thing I want to start on, KD, and it's an issue that I feel like is kind of plaguing the league right now. A ton of injuries to star players. Victor Wembanyama is going to be out for a couple of weeks, maybe 3 at the most, as he recovers from a calf strain. Morant, calf strain. Giannis, groin strain. He's going to be reevaluated in a couple of weeks. You look across the NBA, LeBron just made his debut. We'll talk about him in a second. He was out for, almost 20 games with sciatica, right? Like, these different things are happening in the NBA, and you're looking around saying, damn, who is really playing? Like, the stars aren't playing right now in the NBA.
Yeah, man. I mean, injuries are a part of the game. I think there's a few things you have to factor in. One is the pace of the game, the speed of the game. There's more possessions in the game, so that gives a lot more opportunities to be injured. The second part, to me, is that the practice schedule and the way that guys prepare themselves now. We used to really beat our bodies down, right, and have to push through injuries. So we were like there was a difference between being injured and hurt. And a lot of times when you were hurt, you would push through. If you're injured, you can't. I don't know if they have that threshold at this point now with load management, et cetera. And then my final point with that is that I believe that a lot of guys just don't have the sports movements because they don't play a lot of different sports coming up, right? So it's a lot more basketball specific. I think the shoes, they play in low tops now. So a lot of times that has something to do with it as well. But injuries are part of the game, and unfortunately right now a lot of superstars are down.
It's weird, and Amina Hassan, friend of the show, had said this on the Levitard show earlier this week, talking about the diversification of sports, where when you were growing up and people before you in that generation prior to you guys, people were playing different sports. You wouldn't play basketball year round, right? Like, you would play football, you'd play baseball, you play soccer, you play whatever. Like, you're just not playing basketball from January to January in a way where now we've become so hyper specialized in sports where if you play baseball, you play baseball year round. If you play football, you play football year round as much as you can. You're, playing high school, you're playing 7-on-7s, you're doing drills, you're doing this, you're doing that. In basketball, you're playing, you're playing high school, you're playing pro. Then you go to AAU. Between those things, you got your own private coach, you got your shooting coach, you got dribbling coach, you got this, you got that. You're always constantly working those muscles and working those specific movements like you were talking about. Do you feel like that has something to do with a lot of the guys having these soft tissue injuries, calf, groin, hamstring, quad?
Yeah, possibly. I mean, I think it's more.
There's no science behind it. We're just kind of.
Yeah, it's more than one right answer to that question. But at the end of the day, man, there's a lot more possessions. These guys are bigger, stronger, more explosive, more quick twitchy. The game is played now more free-flowing and things like that. So it just leaves our guys a little bit more exposed. But at the end of the day, I still think that this is the best brand of basketball to play. We want to see more possessions. We want to see more athleticism. We want to see the speed and the cadence and the rhythm and the cutting and the slashing. Unfortunately, injuries do come along with that.
Do you think the evolution of the three-point game has also done a little bit of not only the pace is faster, not only are you running more, turnover, transition, bucket, but the fact that you're closing out to the three-point line, the fact that there's a long shot going up, long rebound, getting out to the three, like the fact, like when you were coming up and when you were playing in the NBA, there was, I would say, probably a third less three-pointers taken?
At least.
Half less three-pointers taken per game?
Yeah.
Because it feels like back in the day, if you were putting up threes, the coach would be like, you're here next to me, let's go.
Yeah.
You put up a couple too many threes this game.
Yeah, well, I mean, the game has evolved. Like, coaches used to call every play, right? And so it's more about reads and reacts at this point in the NBA, more so than sets and structured, organized offense. So that's a part of it. But at the same time, like, I think it's easier to play, in the free-flowing system with more possessions than having to bring the ball up with your back to the basket. You know
GP
what I mean?
Style,
going
style,
against resistance. I think that, like, that really wore you down over the course of 82 games.
And it just feels like the motion, just to get aside from the injury talk for a second, but the motion offenses and like the read and react stuff and the stuff that Spo's running, that 7 seconds or less, 0.5, make a decision, shoot, pass, dribble. It feels like that's so much more unpredictable when it comes to, as a defense, reading what's going on. Because if you hear a play called once, twice, I know there's different options and different plays, but you kind of start, a couple times down the floor, that same play's called, you kind of know where things are going to be.
Yeah.
All right, big man is going to screen this way. All right, he's going to pop up a flare on the other side. Guard's going to take him and do a dribble handoff. Like, there's certain things that happen that you kind of like can already read and be in the right places from a defense.
Right. I mean, it's great for the players, right, to be able to, have those 0.5 reads and be able to, either shoot, pass, dribble, attack, start the blender, whatever it is that players do in those quick read situations. I think it takes a little bit away from the creativity of coaching because, like, when I was coming up, there was a lot of different coaching styles, right? Jerry Sloan had an offense. Phil Jackson had an offense. Flip Saunders had an offense. Different teams tailored their offense, to kind of cater to their players. I think right now everybody kind of plays the same. Because the analytics say that this is the most efficient way to play. But if analytics told the whole story, then Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant and LeBron James and the guys who are great mid-range shooters wouldn't be the greatest of all time.
Right.
And so sometimes, to me, the analytics don't tell the whole story.
It's just the game, like you said, has been played to such a scientific level, right? Like, it used to be feel. It used to be, all right, coach knows what to do here. And now it's kind of like, yeah, coaches have a big part in what's going on in the NBA, but it's like the way that the game has evolved, 3 to the bucket, that's your best shot. I feel like there still is a little bit of room of creativity, right? Guys like SGA that are bringing the mid-range game back, right? Like, he's a mid-range assassin. I'd probably say the best mid-range
of this
player in the game right now, across the board. And you guys got guys like Jokic, who's, I think for the month of November, averaged a triple-double. Yeah. And he's, again, had a triple-double last night. Like, in pockets, there is creativity when you just kind of zoom into it, but as the whole, I can see where you're talking about.
Yeah, it's like everybody plays the same, right? To me, I think
who's to blame for that? Who's to blame for everybody playing the same?
I would say the blame for that is the analytics guys.
So the front office.
Yeah, front office and the analytics guys, right? Because the analytic guys, they see the numbers, right? And so they think, shooting this amount of three-pointers at this percentage and getting to the rim are the most efficient ways to play. To me, when the game breaks down, if there's the game is on the line, you got to go get a shot. The analytics doesn't necessarily matter. You got to go out there and you got to create, get your space, and get your shot off. And so I think it's a balance, right? Because I don't want to minimize what the analytics have done for the game. I think it's increased the pace, the skill. There's a lot of benefits that have come from analytics, but I think that's just a part of it. I think you have to pair the analytics with the trained eye and merge them together and then allow those coaches to kind of bring their philosophy all the way together.
A lot of people say Steph Curry ruined basketball. And I'll give you the reason why. Because when you hear that, you're like, all right, best shooter ever. Guy who revolutionized the sport at a certain time where the NBA was in this flux of like, all right, there's a lot of defense being played. Games are 91-87. And then all of a sudden, Steph Curry comes out and starts shooting the ball. Klay Thompson, Splash Brothers, and like now the NBA plays that way. Yeah. And it feels like the Steph Curry effect has diluted hoops where, all right, now we're taking threes no matter how old you are, no matter what level of basketball you are, you're trying to take that three-point shot more so than maybe beating your man off the dribble, stopping, rising up for a mid-range jumper, faking, going up and under, like things that we used to do back in the day that was top back in the day. Now everybody kind of wants to shoot threes. And if you look at AAU, I know you're on the AAU circuit. I know you're coaching kids up. Do you feel like you see that now where everybody wants to be Steph and pull up from 35 feet?
You know what? I'm not mad at that. Like, at different eras, a lot of people mimic their superstars and the guys who have the biggest impact. Everybody can't go out and be LeBron James, right? They just don't have the size, the speed, the body style to be LeBron James. But Steph Curry is a guy, You know what I mean? No matter
like,
what size you are. Yeah, you can do that. Now, did he hurt the game? Absolutely not. Steph is a national treasure in our game. I put him second all time at the point guard position behind Magic Johnson. I think he revolutionized the game. I think the game shifted on his watch because when Steph first came in the league, we were able to touch him and put a forearm on him so he didn't, we would wear him down before he could get a shot.
His ankles were a problem. Remember, he came in with ankle issues already. We're like, I don't know if this guy can be what he can be because of the ankles.
Yeah, but I'm not going to put that on Steph. Steph has been a blessing to our game. At the end of the day, it's changed. It's shifted. The analytics guy says that they want rim layups, attempts
Shots
at the rim.
Hoop, yep.
Threes, in particular corner threes.
Shortest three in the game, by the way.
And they want to play at a certain pace where you get a certain amount of possessions. And so I can't blame Steph for that. All he did was evolve with the game, and luckily for him, his game was perfectly suited for this era,
right?
Yeah.
It's crazy. What do you think the most consequential injury is across the landscape of the NBA right now? Because we're looking at Giannis, who is playing at an MVP level. He's been playing unreal. I saw the splits on and off the court. When he's on the court, the Bucks have one of the best offenses in the league. When he's off the court, they have one of the worst offenses in history. So that's a pretty big gap.
It's a big gap
for one guy to be kind of in control of. Obviously, he's going to be out for I think they said 1 to 2 weeks with a groin strain grade 1, and he'll be reevaluated at that point. You think that one? Do you think Wemby being out for 2 to 3 weeks with a calf strain? Obviously, knowing his size, knowing what calf strains have kind of led to as of late. I feel like calf strains used to just be calf strains.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden now calf strains are leading to these Achilles tears.
Exactly.
When you look at what happened to KD, remember he came back too early from a calf strain? Achilles. Halliburton tried to play off the calf strain? Achilles. Jason Tatum, I don't even think he had a calf strain. I think his was just kind of a freak.
No, but the calves and the hammy, man, they are really connected to your lower extremities. And so when you have injuries in those lower places, when it's so much speed, it's so much endurance, there's so much
Stop and start.
So, you can't pinpoint it. Obviously, I know there's a lot of experts out there trying to pinpoint what's causing all the injuries. I think injuries are a part of the sport at the end of the day. And it's the teams that stay the healthiest at the right times that usually win it all.
So you think, what do you think if giving you the injuries right now that are kind of worse for a specific team, what do you think it is?
I would say Giannis. I think, the way that he impacts that team, and he's required to do so much. I think the Bucks suffer with him out. I don't think they have enough depth and enough diversity within that roster to be able to mimic or make up for what he brings to the table. I think San Antonio has a little bit more. They have some players, right? Fox is back. He's an all-star, historically.
Harper's hurt. Vassell hurt. Wemby hurt.
Yep. I still think that the way that the Spurs play, they have a program.
They're the Spurs. They're
the Spurs. They really know how to play with one another. They know how to win. The Bucks, not so much. Not without Giannis.
Yeah. The one thing that worries me about the Wemby situation is obviously he had the blood clot last year, cost him the season. Obviously that has no indicator of what's going on from this season from a calf perspective, clearly. But when a guy that big is kind of like injury here, injury there, like the calf thing worries me a little bit just because of his frame and just because of the way he moves, right?
Yeah.
He's not Rudy Gobert. He's not going to stand down as the anchor in a 2-3 and just kind of be a rim protector and not really get out to the three-point line, not really initiate the offense. Wemby is that guy, right? And how many times have we seen Halliburton, Tatum, KD, Clay, whoever it is that's initiating an offense, tear something, trying to make a move, trying to make something happen. I feel like that to me is something that I'd be really worried about if I was the Spurs, to be like extra careful of how Wemby is to come back.
Yeah, I mean it's a long-term play with Wemby,
very
right?
long-term.
He's the future. But too much is given, much is required. The job for the superstars and the guys who night in, night out have to go and produce. They have to not only get themselves on the board, but they also have to, be responsible for getting everybody else, to contribute. They have a tough job, and that's why they get paid the big bucks. And so, the superstar players, man, they're a lot of times they are more injury prone because they're required to do more. They have to be in better shape. They have to take all the pressure. They get all the blame. But guess what? They take up about 25 to 30% of the cap as well. So it's a catch-22. And either way, it's a win-win because they're still not only producing, but they're also earning.
Lazo, pull up the NBA All-Stars from this past year. Let's take a look at them. So, all right, let's go up. Giannis hurt. Shea playing like the MVP. Jokic playing like the MVP. Mitchell playing really well too.
Yeah,
Mitchell's been playing really well. Şengün, beast. We know we're big fans of Şengün. Siakam, for a team that is so bad.
Yeah,
in the Indiana Pacers, he's been really good keeping them. Afloat would not be the word because they're 1-11, but like he's been balling.
Yeah, he's been hooping.
Cat's been pretty healthy, outside of little banged up things here and there. Wemby hurt. Brunson came back last night, but he was on the shelf with an ankle for a little bit. Cade's been in and out of the lineup. Ant missed time.
Mm-hmm.
Ant's missed time earlier this year. Darius Garland missed a bunch of games and then re-injured his foot. Tyler Hero hasn't played yet. Jaren Jackson Jr. Kind of in and out too. Had surgery in the offseason. Evan Mobley's been good. Jalen Williams played 2 games this year?
Yeah, he's been hurt.
Jaylen Brown, he got hair smudges. Curry's been in and out of the lineup. Anthony Davis has played how much?
Not very much.
Okay.
Not very much.
KD's actually been pretty healthy. Harden's been good. LeBron's missed basically everything. Dame Achilles. Tatum Achilles.
Yeah. It's going to be some new All-Stars.
I mean, damn. From what we counted, we got about 9 All-Stars when we need a bunch more. So it's an interesting point in the NBA season where, like you talk about, the vets got to get ramped up. The young guys are going to be young. They're springy. They can kind of bounce back a little bit quicker. But the vets are going to need a little bit of grease. Yeah. A little like the Tin Man, a little oil here and there to make sure we get back and running. Speaking of the vet, oldest player in the league, made his return last night. Yeah. 41 years old.
How about that?
How do you feel about him being that old, playing just playing in the NBA period?
I feel great about it, man. Like every opportunity we get to see LeBron play, I try and lock in and enjoy it. Because when he is gone, the game is gonna really miss him. And a lot of times when you're in it, people can't really appreciate the value that you bring. So when he's not on the TV, when they can't talk about him and things like that, you're gonna miss him. And it's great to see, man. The way that he played the other night, he was very efficient. He was very selfless. Had 12 assists, 11 points, shot 4 for 7.
Not a typical LeBron game from 11 points, 7 attempts from the field.
Yeah, but it's so LeBron in a sense where it was all about his energy, his motor, his ability to facilitate and get people in spots. And I think it showed a lot of humility that he didn't go out and try and play hero ball or anything like that. He's like, okay, let me get my legs back under me. Let me see how I feel. Let me facilitate. And he has an aura about him that if he's on the court, you feel like you have an opportunity to win. And so for me, I'm one of those guys who I just sit back and I just want to watch LeBron, enjoy his victory lap. Hopefully Luka and Austin Reeves continues to excel and get better, and hopefully Ayton can be a force in the middle.
Been playing well so far.
He's been solid.
15,
He's been solid,
games.
But to me, the conference finals is the farthest they can make it, in my opinion.
Really?
Yeah, man. I don't think.
Okay, I was gonna ask you
OKC, bro.
Going forward, kind of extending the season. LeBron continues to play in this OG role of let me be the Magic Johnson that I was talked about back in the day before I had to score the 29 points a game and put the entire team on my back. I got a guy who's an MVP candidate that can do that. I got another guy who, if needed, can do the same thing, obviously to a smaller level with Austin Reeves. If he can play that facilitator, dunker spot, like we've talked about since basically we started this podcast, if he can create the role of that OG where he can come in and be that guy that they need so desperately, I feel like this team can make a run.
They can, and I don't exclusively want him to be in the dunker spot and play the facilitator role. I think he's still good and great enough to have an impact on the game. And how about Luka? Being as a spot-up shooter and getting some open looks without having to use the bounce and create. Austin is a great cutter and things like that. He knows how to play with LeBron. But there's times, when the rubber meets the road, that LeBron has to get the ball, and there's no offense anyway, and you just get out of his way and you just let him put his head down, peel his ears back, either get to the cup or make the right play, and we trust him to do that. So, yeah, it'll be interesting to see, but I think it'll be great for all of them, and I think they have to let LeBron be LeBron in spurts. I just think that he has to be secondary right now to what they've already kind of established, because for the future, those guys need the reps, they need the confidence, they need the ball in their hands to get them to the, to solidify the future.
Mm-hmm. If I were handicapping it, would you say that LeBron finishes his career as a Laker or he goes somewhere else?
Well, I think he just bought a property and knocked it down and is like building his, dream home out there, his second dream home.
How many dream homes you got?
You know what? The guy has earned the right to have multiple dream homes.
For sure. I mean, dream homes. I mean, damn.
Yeah, but no, I mean, it's not stamped that he'll finish his career with the Lakers.
Where would you want to see him finish his career?
You know what? I would want to see him finish his career in a place where he's appreciated, because I feel like he's so underappreciated when he's in your system, in your city, in your city's economy. Mm-hmm. Like, he brings so much to the table. So I want to go one where he's appreciated and he's respected, and then two where he has an opportunity. Well, that might have been three, but I digress. A place where he has an opportunity to compete for a championship so that he can continue to enhance his legacy.
I mean, it feels like LA is that, no? Like, you got Luka, you got probably one of the three best players in the Western Conference. Are you talking about Cleveland?
Well, no, I don't want to see him in Cleveland.
That's one of the spots that respects him, that has an opportunity to play for a championship.
Yeah.
That he's familiar with, that they love and respect his game. The Cleveland thing is done, right?
Any city would welcome LeBron James, even on his victory lap. At the end of the day, it's about like him and his legacy. Does he want to go out like kind of being a role player, or does he want to leave on an elite level? That's a choice that he's put himself in a position to make. Personally, as all these guys are getting older, I don't think it'll be a Brooklyn Nets situation if he wanted to pair himself with, Steph, whether Steph came or went, or, any of those places where, his legacy can be enhanced. I want to see that for him, because I just think he's that kind of player.
Ends his career with the Miami Heat?
You know what? I don't think that's happening. Yep, I don't think that's happening.
You don't think the key's under the mat?
You know what? I think
they said that the key was under the mat for D Wade. You don't think the key's under the mat for LeBron?
It's possible. It's possible.
He's reaching under there.
I would love to see. Hell, bring them all down to South Florida. I want to make South Beach the destination. You know what I mean? Again, I would love to see it.
It's just tough when you have somebody of that magnitude. Do you feel, from an ego perspective, that he needs to be one of the highest paid players on his team? Or is he a guy that in the latter stages of, let's say he's got a year left, let's say he's got 2 years left max, which is insane to say. Mm-hmm. Kareem played at how old? Can we look that up?
Look and see Kareem how old played into his 40s. Like, Cat was 40 plus when he was winning championships with Magic.
It's like, does he A, want to, B, do you think that he understands, all right, let me try and get to a place where maybe I can't win another title, or if it's just like right off into the sunset. And
no, I don't think LeBron should ever take a pay cut.
So he has to be the highest paid player.
Not necessarily the highest paid player, but he has to get what his market value is. His value will always be high as long as he can move and he has the size. And
so to take like a mid-level exception?
No, I mean, he's too good of a player to take a mid-level exception unless that's a choice that he decides to make. Personally, I feel like LeBron has been underpaid for the value that he's brought to the NBA and how the game has grown under his watch. So I don't think he necessarily has to take a pay cut in order to be able to fit in somewhere. I think wherever LeBron goes, he's going to stand out from now until the end of his life.
Can you imagine taking a mid-level exception, though, to go sign with, like, the Warriors? And then all of a sudden, that money's on the books, and you can, all right, let me go get this piece, let me go get that piece. And then one last run, Steph, Draymond, Jimmy, LeBron.
Yeah. I mean, that would be something.
You're painting it very
Cap was 42 years old, so that would be LeBron next season playing.
Yeah, it's possible, right? Because he, did he pick up his option, right? And he didn't sign an extension, so he'll technically be a free agent next year.
Yep.
Next summer. So
Summer 26, yeah.
Yeah, so he gets to choose, imagine him in the Big Apple, right? Imagine him in the Mecca of basketball.
Wow.
Like, you can actually envision LeBron being anywhere, and it's going to be a bonus to your franchise.
Yeah.
The value will go up, the price tickets will go up, your television deal will probably get better, your local sponsorships will go up. So anywhere LeBron goes, he's going to stimulate the economy.
LeBron in New York.
LeBron in New York would be great.
Brunson, Cat, LeBron.
That would be something. Yeah, that would be something. See, I would rather see him in New York than go to Golden State.
Okay.
Personally, I think New York basketball has suffered after being such a pivotal part of the game and the growth of the game and the mecca of the game. The hoopers ain't coming out of New York like how they used to, right? And the fans, they still have that energy. The Knicks fans are awesome. They have that passion. They got their sayings, their catchphrases.
They've been on a run, too.
They have. They've been solid, right? And I still don't think that they're going to top the East, even with how, good of a team they are. But if LeBron goes to the Mecca, I think it'll be good for him as well, for his brand, for the impact that he can have, and for the notoriety for the game. I think it'll be good to see him in New York.
It would be the last stop for him, right? He's obviously born and raised in Cleveland, goes to Cleveland, plays in Cleveland, goes to Miami, does his thing in Miami, goes to LA, or goes back to Cleveland, goes to LA. The last stop, is New York.
New York.
Can you imagine
it'll be dope,
that
man.
number 6 in the Garden?
I would love to see LeBron in New York. I think that'd be an amazing thing, and I think he loves to play in that building.
Oh, for sure.
He loves Madison Square Garden. I think he has the kind of personality that New York really would resonate with him. Now, they could love you for a second. Now, if you don't bring them a championship, they will, burn your jersey at some point. But no, that would be dope, man. I think it'd be great for the game to get LeBron in New York.
So reading here off Google, Kareem was 42 when he retired from the NBA in '89. His final game with the Lakers was that '88-'89 season, marking the end of his 20-year career.
Yeah.
So let me do the math real quick. He was 42. LeBron drafted in 03. It's 2025. It's his 22nd season. Already past Kareem. He's going to get to 42 years old. He's 40 right now, turning 41 in December. Next year, he would be turning 42 in December.
If he decides to continue to play, he still can compete and play on a high level. It's something. It's something. LeBron really, the way that he looks, bro, he really could probably play till he's about 45. If you really look at the way he moves, it's just a matter of does he want to?
Does he want to? Right.
Yeah, but he really still, the way that he takes care of his body and things like that, he really can continue to play.
And the funny thing is, if you pull up a side by side of LeBron at 40 and Cap at 40, can we do that? Can we let's pull up what Kareem looked like at 40 and what LeBron looks like at 40.
Yeah, they used to age. They look old.
Bro, what is that though?
You know what? I think
back in the day, they used to look old, man.
I think that I don't know, the way we get our haircut now. The swagger that
Clyde was looking crazy old.
Man, they didn't care, man. They didn't care about having, the George Jefferson hairline or anything like that, the reverse fade. They wasn't tripping about that. They used to look throwback, man. They looked old as shit back in those days.
It's true. You would watch TV and be like, damn. Like James Worthy looked like he was 45 years old when he was 20.
Grown man beard, wearing big numbers like 42 and 52.
AC Green, guys like that, they would just look like that Showtime Lakers would just look old.
Yeah, man.
There was no way that's Kareem at 40, right? Nah, Cap was bald by then.
He was bald by then.
He was bald as shit.
He almost was still Lou Alcindor at that moment. But no, but you know what? But at the end of the day, when you look at Cap's body, I mean, he was lean, he was fit, he could still run like a deer, he still could hit his hook shot, he still was very smart. Yeah, man, Cap is one of the most underrated players ever because, when you mention the all-time greats and the best player in the history of the game, Cap's name, usually doesn't get mentioned, in the first breath. But Kareem Abdul-Jabbar is one of the best players, if not the best player in the history of the game. I put him in my top 3 to 4. Wow. In the history of the game. Sometimes as high as 2.
Scoring leader. Yep, when LeBron passed him.
Sometimes as high as 2. I think where Cap made some, mishaps is like his personality kind of clashed with people a little bit.
Especially with Magic's.
Yep, but, all in all, man, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar is one of the greats.
Pull up that purple, the one of the purple to the left, right there, that one. Pull that one up. Let's see. Let's see if we can zoom in here. Where is it at?
Yeah, that was the old banana in the tailpipe.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah.
Let's see if we can zoom it up here. Here we go.
There we go. There go Cap.
That and even there he looks kind of good.
Yeah, Cap look good.
I feel like,
I mean, he still looks good.
Yeah, right.
Like
facts.
Kareem, like really is fit and lean, and obviously he's had some health issues and things like that. But man, he's still Cap, man. We still love him. He's still a national treasure.
Real quick, obviously speaking of the Lakers, they're sitting right now in 4th in the Western Conference, 11-4 right now. Let's do like a quick run through of both conferences, just kind of see where things are right now. We got OKC at 15-1. SGA barely plays in any fourth quarter. Like they're at a point where he scores 33 quarters and then they sit him down and they're just rolling people.
Yeah.
Like it's crazy.
Yeah.
Denver 11-3. Jokic is playing like the MVP again. Houston 10-3. Lakers 11-4. San Antonio 10-4. Obviously, we know they're injured. That's going to be a little bit of a flux situation. And then rounding out at 6, before we get to the playing games, Minnesota 10-5. What do you feel about Minnesota? Right? You think Minnesota can go on a little bit of a run here and start climbing up the Western Conference?
Possibly. I think they're built really nice for the regular season. As long as Ant-Man stays healthy, they have an opportunity to win. I think they still, have some issues at the point guard position with a aging Mike Conley and, Rob Dillingham, who's still trying to find his way, and DiVincenzo, who's a combo guard who they would probably, be able to use at that point guard position. But at some point, in the playoffs, they're going to have to see SGA or Luka. And
or
Jokic, right? But I just think that from the point guard position, I don't think that they can make a deep run. Well, I take that back. They have potential to get to the conference finals.
They need a piece, though, you're saying?
I think they need a piece, or somebody has to emerge internally and provide that spark, that size at the point guard position. I don't think they have enough with Mike Conley being the starting point guard.
I've been hearing Amin had said on the show, and obviously Amin's super plugged in, does stuff with NBA XM radio. He was talking to a guy that said there's a couple teams keeping an eye and monitoring the John Morant situation. Wolves being one of them, and Sacramento being the other team that's interested in kind of keeping an eye on what's going on down in Memphis. So. If I hear what you're saying, what if I raise you, trade deadline, trade Morant to Minnesota?
They got to change.
Does that change things for you?
That definitely changes things. That you'll have the most athletic backcourt in the NBA, maybe in NBA history.
Can you imagine Ja and Ant?
Yeah, I could imagine that. And I think both of those guys they're both from the South. They're young. They got this swag and charisma about them. I think Ant is further along in his professionalism journey and his leadership journey, which I think, could, kind of transfer.
Kind of put him under his wing a little bit?
Not necessarily put him under his wing, but just like bring him up, and challenge him. Like I've been seeing clips of Ant-Man, having conversations with his team and, his leadership qualities. I've been on the court with him when I was working with Stan Remy down at Remy Workouts. Yeah. And, this kid loves to hoop. He loves the process of hooping. And it's contagious when he's around. He's infectious. His personality, his swagger, his sense of humor, his tenacity, his toughness, his athleticism, his skill set. So Ant-Man is a guy, he'll tighten up. Let's go. Be a real Georgia boy.
He'll challenge you.
He'll challenge you. So I would love to see that. But at the same time, I don't necessarily want all that talent, in the Grand Lake area. I would rather see that talent in a bigger market.
Yeah, true. Both of them.
Both of them.
Get them maybe a little bit further south. Speaking of you being there with Remy doing the workouts with Ant, who is the most impressive person that you've seen at a workout, physically, just with athleticism, with the way that they can score, with the way that they can shoot, the way that they run drills? Who's a person that you've had a long history of watching people, being around people, of working out with people and seeing that? Who's the person you're like, that dude is different?
Like all time?
Like all time.
Probably close up. And I played with a lot of Hall of Famers and All-Stars. But, man, it was not many people that I've ever seen like Tracy McGrady in high school. Watching T-Mac, playing AAU with T-Mac was like watching somebody play NBA jams and they just doing stuff that like is not possible.
Right.
Like Tracy
You're like,
McGrady.
wait a second, he could do that?
Tracy McGrady, bro. Like that summer I got to spend with him. I was going until I think the 11th grade, so it was the summer of my 10th grade year. Like it was life changing. It was life changing to see somebody 6'9", 6'10", who could hezzo pull, who could cross over, who could post you up, who was cat quick, could jump to the moon. He was cerebral. He could pass the ball. He was competitive. Like T-Mac was something really special. And a lot of us from Florida, because it kind of opened up on T-Mac and Vince Carter's watch. And, of course, there were people before those guys. But, man, those guys, like T-Mac helped change our lives. Like he put us on the map and he gave us a platform that we wouldn't have had if we weren't on the same team with him.
I don't think people understand like how cold T-Mac was like in his prime.
Yeah. I don't think a lot of people do. But they got YouTube. They just got to go and check it out, man. They got to go check it out. T-Mac was a bad boy.
He was insane. What was it? 13 points in 30 seconds or something? Man. Like, and you're saying like that was stuff that was normal. Like when you stepped on the court with him and you saw him for the first time, you're like, oh, I know he's going to be something. You
knew.
Everybody in the gym knew it.
The first time we saw T-Mac, we didn't even know he was from Florida, number one. We saw him at ABCD camp. And we were gonna all play on the Florida Flash that summer, and he was like, y'all come over and watch me play, and like we all were like, yo, how do we not know who this guy is?
Right, where'd this guy come from?
In Polk County. He's like 2 hours away from us, and we've never heard of him. Now that he's at Mount Zion, like he's about to take over the world. He literally windmilled on somebody at ABCD camp. Like, they have footage. You can go to YouTube and things like that. But it was not a ceiling fan. It was a full windmill on somebody. And you saw a lot of coaches lose their professionalism. You saw a lot of NBA scouts running out the gym. It turned into the rucker really quick at Adidas camp.
So, wow, that's the most impressive person you've seen in that's crazy. That's actually an incredible pull.
Yeah.
Like the fact that you've seen it with your own eyes.
Yeah.
Like the rise of somebody who is arguably a top 75 player in the NBA.
Oh, for sure.
Like he's that good. I remember, and we've talked about this offline, but I remember the first time where I saw, oh, that guy's different than everybody else. Like, because you play with people that are kind of at your level as you start growing up, and then as you get a little bit better, you start getting introduced to people that are a little bit better, and then you're like playing with these runs or in these AAU camps or in these whatever leagues that you're like, oh, okay, like I'm here, but like that guy's different.
Yeah. And
I remember being, oh, here we go, we got a little team.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, the kid James, I think his name was James Felton or something like that, man.
Here we go. Let's see. Play it. Here we go.
Literally windmilled on him.
And won.
And then what you don't see is the people just running out of the gym. That was the part that was most impressive. Like all the college coaches and NBA scouts losing their professionalism.
Oof. I remember, and you actually done a pod with him. I remember the first time that I was like, oh, that guy's different was BK Brandon Knight.
Oh, yeah, BK.
We were 13 years old, and the team I was on should not have been in the same division as BK's team. Yeah. And I don't know if you talk to him regularly.
I do.
Okay, but tell him this story right here. We were at a camp, and I want to say it was either at Dillard or it was somewhere up north.
Okay.
Because we were a down south team coming up. And they're like, oh, yeah, we're going to play this team, whatever. And we start looking across the way. We're 13. And I'm like, maybe less, maybe like 12. And I remember looking around being like, damn, that guy's pretty big. Yeah. And I was a big kid. Like, I'm 6'4" now, so I was a pretty big kid. And I remember we started playing, and all of a sudden it was like bucket here, bucket there. We're not scoring. All of a sudden 10, 20-point lead, 30-point lead. We look at halftime. BK has 42. And he didn't play the second half.
At half.
At half.
That sounds about
BK
right.
had 42 at 12 years old, and we were like, bro, who can stop this guy? Yeah, we can't do. We playing zone doesn't work. Yeah. We play it man. He was just crossing everybody up, taking everybody to the hoop, shooting from like half court, and we were like, okay, I guess we chalk this one up to a L.
People don't realize how good Brandon Knight was.
BK was tough
and still is. Brandon Knight was one of the top 3 basketball players in the country coming out of South Florida.
Easily. From
like
Pinecrest Prep.
Right? He was a one-and-done guy. Like, if you look at his career numbers, they're very formidable. like over the course of his NBA career, and he can still do it. I think he just got put on the USA team that's going to go over to Ecuador and Atlanta and play on that. But Brandon Knight is one of my favorite people on the planet, though, man. What a man.
It was just effortless the way that he was able to get.
And he had the braids. He had a little hang time with the braid. Go get him.
Damn.
Yeah, BK was mean as a rattlesnake, too. One of the nicest guys ever, but mean as a rattlesnake on the court.
I remember, so me and him graduated same year, 2010. And the other time, too, where I was like, oh, these guys are different, was Timmy Hardaway.
Oh, yeah.
Timmy was
Junior.
Yeah.
JR used to get buckets.
So he played at the Rivals. He played at Palmetto. We were at Killian, so we were rivals and stuff. And I remember district championship game, Timmy had 45.
Oh, easy.
Yeah, like pulling up from half court, unstoppable. And that was another point where I was like, oh, okay, that guy's kind of built different. 6'6", could pull up from anywhere on the floor. And then him and BK played, I think, a regional semifinal at Columbus to go to States. Timmy and Brandon just going back and forth. Bomb, 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 bomb. It was so good. Chalmers was in the building. Like, they had everybody out there. That was
box office for sure.
That was crazy. But no, man. Hoops is fun.
Yeah, man. It is, man. And it's a journey, man. Like a part of our lives, man. Like, you can remember where you were by what our basketball journeys were at that time, right? You know, you can go back to the soundtracks of your life. You can go back to the friends. You can go back to your interests. You can go back to the video game that you was playing. You can go back to maybe the websites that you were watching, all these different things. Like, basketball is a soundtrack to our lives. And I love it, and I want it to stay that way until the day I don't have breath anymore.
Me too, bro.
You feel me on that?
That's how we end that shit.
Straight up.
That's how we end it. All right. We'll be back Monday of next week. And then obviously everybody enjoy their Thanksgiving. We'll be off Thursday. We'll be back following Monday after that. So Monday show, Thursday no show, Monday we'll be back.
We'll be back. Let's go.
Let's go,
crossover.
baby.
We out.
Peace.